So if any of you think you're going to be neat and tidy about this, forget it right now. You're going to get wet, you're going to get muddy.
And you better tie your shoes a little bit tighter than normal.
Yeah.
When we decided to follow John Kallas around for what, to him, was a day of grocery shopping, we weren't sure what to expect.
Embrace the cold.
What we did know was that John's unique skill is finding food anywhere and everywhere in nature. In fact, it's his business. And on this weekend, clients happily followed John through mud and muck so that they too could learn how to find dinner in the wild.
Right in this spot right here, there's like 30 gaper holes right here. If you look, every time you see this, they're all over.
Let's face it, no one has to hunt or harvest for their meals anymore. But isn't this more fun than grabbing food off the shelf?
I wanted to show you the strategy of digging these guys so that you don't break them all. Yeah, wow, look at the size of that guy. There's something primal about all of us. You know, we all started out gathering our food from the wild, and now we just go to a grocery store and buy everything. It's just totally available. But when you're actually gathering from the wild, it's a totally different experience.
The goal here is to find not just food, but food worth feasting on.
Everything's good with butter and garlic.
This is my first time. I think it's going to be a tiring day.
You know, everybody takes showers every day and they're soaked up and they're clean and everything's perfect and pretty. I love getting out there and getting dirty, getting my hands dirty.
Hey, you guys, watch out. The buckets are being attacked over here.
Despite run-ins with scavengers, buckets quickly filled with gapers, mahogany clams, and cockles that were destined to be tonight's main course. The clamming was exceptional. Hours went by like minutes. The problem was we were standing in the middle of Netart's Bay.
Okay, guys, the tide's coming in. I think we should head back. Yeah, it's actually come in quite a bit. Yeah, let's go. Come on.
As our luck would have it, the tide had flooded our escape route. We were soon surrounded by cold, rising seawater.
The county sheriff will be here shortly to pull you out of there.
What?
The county sheriff is going to be here shortly to pull us out of here. That's good to know.
We made our way to the last remaining island of sand. John didn't skip a beat and got right back to raking for clams. But by the time the sheriff arrived, the field guide crew had begun to think about how this would look back at the office.
Hey Todd, are you going to do any more shoots with me?
Nope. I'm done. I'm going to go do art beat.
I need to start looking for a new job.
Let's get the camera stuff
What did we learn?
What did we learn?
There's a reason John calls his business Wild Food Adventures. But before we had time to dry or dwell on our mishap, we were off in search of more food.
We've got thimbleberries growing on the side. They're in flower right now. Stop it as soon as you can. Lady fern, at least it looks like from a distance. These are the mature plants, and so you're not...
John grew up near urban Detroit, but he sought out trees and rivers and streams wherever he could find them.
Clip them, and you've got a whole salad in your hand.
That early wanderlust grew into a quest to learn about living by nature alone.
This is Japanese knotweed. With plants like this, you want the young stuff. There's a lot of romance around the independence of being able to sustain yourself in the wild. I kept finding myself more and more oriented towards plant life because there was so much of it. It was all over the place. Everywhere you went, there were plants.
My guess is that about 99% of the people drive by, see green everywhere, and that's about it. You know, it's actually one of the pleasures, I think, of learning about nature is that you see with a whole different set of eyes. You know, you see details instead of general things.
Right here, we have lady fern, and this is the one with the fiddleheads. Well, mostly I just get looks, you know, like, what is he doing? The biggest looks I get is when I go to somebody's house and ask them if I can pick their weeds. There's like 3 wild foods right there.
John makes the point that you don't need to head deep into the wilderness to find good eating. Even within Tillamook city limits, in sight of strip malls and gas stations, free food is everywhere.
But we're right here next to the asphalt in an urban area, and here is cow parsnips. So once you see this guy, you know from here up is the part you want to collect.
I was surprised how many things you just find on the parking strips.
You know, I've thrown chickweed into my salad along with dandelion greens and mallow.
This is Himalayan blackberry. The young shoots like this actually have an edible core. So,
With a little training, the sea of green along the road starts to look like an all-you-can-eat buffet.
wow, look at that. That's a whole field of lady fern.
It's hard not to get hungry looking at food all day, which in our case was fine, because after 10 hours of gathering bushels full of weeds, flowers, and seafood, the real fun began.
It's actually looking edible.
Okay, this is the sea lettuce, glasswort for flavor. And that was the cow parsnips.
Reward after fighting the surf and everything all day today.
To die for.
Every step that we're taking is an eye-opener. You know, it's like, oh, that's how you identify it. Oh, you know, these are all ahas that are going on for people.
One of the reasons John started Wild Food Adventures was to spark a sense of wonder in people and to let them see nature as indigenous people have for millennia. Gathering these days is more often just a form of recreation, but with a useful culinary purpose.
What we're gonna do is sample this. Take a piece of that. The more that you eat these things, the more you'll be able to distinguish what the flavors are, and then you can play with the nuances a little bit while you're cooking.
There are dangers to all this, of course,
Watch out! One man down and a bunch of nettles.
but everyone we met was braving the brambles, mud, and surf not just to find a meal, but to have an adventure. And that's exactly what they got.
The only reason to do wild foods right now is not because you need the nutrients, even though they're highly nutritious, even though it will expand the variety of your diet. You should be doing this because it's fun.